Welcome, dear friends, for this water chat on this amazing day, the 21st of December 2020. At this very moment, Jupiter and Saturn are kissing in the sky, and it's the solstice as well. Plus, the sun just entered Capricorn. So I'm thanking you, of course, for being here and allowing me to introduce us to some possibilities of our new life. As I am recording this, the sun is positioned at 0 degrees 11 of Capricorn. And the Sabian symbol for that moment in the zodiacal wheel is an Indian chief claims power from the assembled tribe. Now, nature has been calling us back to the land and the water, to nature, to the elemental wisdom for a while now, the archaic revival, as Terence McKenna called it. The Jupiter-Saturn conjunction semi-sextiles the 0 degrees of Capricorn. This moment goes hand in hand with bringing light to all the ideological changes, the changes in the value system of we the people, which will eventually guide the construction of new structures for a more beautiful society. Meanwhile, the moon at 25 degrees of Pisces says, a very thin crescent moon appears at the sunset, and different people realize that the time has come to go ahead with their different projects. So even the moon is talking about the sunset, about the dawn of a new day, a new age, a new beginning. Saturn is the ancient ruler of Aquarius, so it likes being there. It also liked Capricorn, where it just comes from. It's also its home. But for Jupiter, however, this is a big shift, and it will do us a lot of good. We were walking that critical degree, and it wasn't easy, this last renovation. Jupiter was debilitated in Capricorn, and it signifies our hope, our luck. It's our guru. It's a good thing. People congratulate you when you find a teacher. In ancient times, it happened that way. So Jupiter, it represents the opportunities that can rain upon us, and also our ability to move with the cosmic laws of this universe, to have a goal and to be the archer, basically, to see the goal and go for it. Jupiter couldn't really express himself in Capricorn. Jupiter rules Sagittarius when it comes to the personality expression, but on a soul level, Jupiter rules Aquarius. And that's a beautiful thing, because on a soul level, like within the deep waters of our being, Jupiter is where he needs to be in this day today. Aquarius is a world teacher through intelligent love. He is the water bearer, carrying the waters of wisdom through the ethers and pouring it into the people. Saturn meeting Jupiter, or Jupiter meeting Saturn, at this moment is a deep knowing. Our very humanity will be infused with the wisdom accumulated from different timelines on a collective level and different lifetimes on an individual level. So when the collective receives a profound understanding of how the world works, we are upgrading. So it's a profound understanding of the rigid and more corrupt patterns, as well as how it would be in optimal function, the intelligent love principle. Because the universe, there's no morals. It's beyond that. If it had any business with morals, the people who work the hardest or are the kindest would be the happiest or the richest, if we want to look at it, wearing the glasses of this old paradigm of success that we have, that we are exiting at this very moment. So Saturn, it's the lord of karma, and in a poetic way we can say that Saturn invented time on this planet. Time, when we look at it, it's a separation from the source and the oneness that we experienced in the womb. There's a saying about Saturn, those rings, those shall not pass. And And what does this tell me? Like, to receive influences from beyond Saturn, from beyond the karma of this world that imprisons us in a limited experience. The interpersonal karma, as well as this paradigm of success symbolized by this Capricorn party of 2020 that I just mentioned. To receive these influences from beyond, that karma needs to go. And that's what we are working through and have been working through, and that receives a reset right now. The pointlessness of striving to reach the top just for the sake of it, that's kind of clear for all of us now. The meeting of the planets, Jupiter and Saturn, serves then to create new patterns so that the synthesis of information accumulated through our collective past and through our individual past lives may be structured and restructured within the mind to have a new mindset, basically. We can see this as an awakening of the collective memory that says, okay, human history is history that has been done. Now it's time for a new thought, a new way of thinking, a new embodiment of that thinking as well. But Aquarius, in essence, it's air. It is mind and it's thought. Thought is private until we share it with someone. We can think all day if we want and not share it. And thought is being built within us every single day, every single moment, if we are not in a meditative state. But Aquarius plugs into the oversoul and the overmind of humanity. It's this idea that if a rat in, let's say, Boston learns how to perform a salto or a pirouette, it's communicated in the Akashic field, and a rat in Australia can do it too. If you extrapolate this idea of overmind and learning through the ethers and teaching through the ethers, as the Aquarian does, to the human experience, this tapping into the collective memory and the collective ability and expertise annuls ego that isn't healthy and integrated. You invented nothing, says Aquarius, yet it has never been done by you, your individual, unique way. So if we ask ourselves every morning, how can I best direct my energy today? What kind of world would we live in? That's where the magician in us rises with blessings of love and mutuality. And with this sort of setup, there is no return to the mistakes of the past. The history is history. From here we develop a true human feeling that serves and moves us from codependence to true empathy, which on its turn can formulate interdependence. True self-love is loving your humanity, is loving your brothers and sisters, loving the human experience. And Aquarius welcomes that higher truth, what works for the collective. But of course, we still have our personal menage, like what does this mean for our personal lives, for our relationships? And I would like to suggest that this conjunction harbors a sort of karmic reset, an ability to want a life that serves the higher good of all beings on this planet. This true self-love, being a love for humanity beyond the individual need for self-realization, which happens in the opposite sign of Leo. So to be using your realized self wisely every single day, well, a certain maturity is needed for that. To live that sort of life, we cannot really be busy with who did who in the past, who did what in the past. We're invited to embody the principle of truth in our personal relationships. For example, what is true for you now in regards to your relationship with person Y? And in fact, one of the very last few interpersonal taboos that we have is to be naked in front of the other, to be confronting somebody else with, okay, this is what I want, this is what I see, do you see it and want it too? Truth still looks like a game to many of us. We've been living behind a mask for so much longer than coronavirus. But there's a change here. And I can feel it rising around me. I'm blessed to see people act from a place of really no time for games. And in the sign of Leo, which is the polar opposite of Aquarius, we self-realize. Leo represents the creative child, the artist, romance. That's of course like a reduction, but in the idea, like the artist is a romantic idea. In Aquarius, we learn the difference between ego and the needed self-love, self-realization, Leo, to serve. So the artist in everyone, and acknowledging this principle that there is an artist in everyone, and everyone, by living this life, is intrinsically an artist, that will guide this movement. Many people awakened all these beautiful ancient skills from across timelines during Corona, and we experience a sort of renaissance if we want to see it. And seeing and living this will help us rise together. Never in history was healing so very much on the menu. And this is a profession together with ITers, technicians, astrologers, intuitives, chefs, that will do very well in the upcoming years, I feel. But to come back to this healing, all these healing arts have traveled eons to help us today. You cannot go to bed or you'll wake up and another person has become a yoga teacher. Yoga is a holistic system. It's been introduced worldwide. We've been on a collective healing journey on so many levels, with Aries hosting both Chiron and Mars for such a long time. This talks about the wound of incarnation itself. So we are learning what it is to truly love oneself, to be able then eventually to enter the human dance with the precision of an ice dancer. Aquarius is a dancer on ice. It's an air sign and it's fixed. It represents the heart of winter, where we really go with one idea. And in this collective healing process, there's also this cooking revolution of 2020. A friend and I were discussing about like what's really the winner here of 2020. Is it Zoom or is it cooking? And I know people, God bless, who had never cooked. They experienced a total dependence on the European restaurant culture. And they were empowered to know that they could take care of themselves, you know. In a way, we did not die, but we lost life's breath, the pure contact with life. And that's the archaic revival in a way, like going back to the essence, regaining touch with life. That's so important. And we've been brushing our teeth, washing our hands, optimizing the vehicle we have, our body, for reception of this Aquarian energy. And this extends also into our technology. We're going to see a lot of good and bad here because Aquarius is the innovator beyond duality. It longs for the future and a lot of new things will be invented. Some will be the prison of the new generations, like the iPhone I am recording this with. And with that comes the responsibility of having to educate ourselves and our children, or they will educate us, when it comes to this peculiar magical extension of our nature. Aquarius is the white magician, and it can be the intelligent ITer who can see the machine we use every day as a tool. That's a positive expression, to be connected, to use the phone to connect, to be present and not to escape. Our very relationship with technology, with our phones, need healing too. They need to be infused with loving intelligence, and we can ask ourselves, am I holding this phone right now to disconnect from the moment unfolding all around me? Or am I connecting with someone, with something that nurtures me, that has meaning for me? Correctly direct the energy, there we are again. And this Aquarian energy, this beautiful conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn in the sky, supports and celebrates relationships that merge the principles of the solar system. Love, will, intelligence. They're synonyms. Aquarius carries the water. It asks, within the perspective of this archaic revival, where is your water? And 2020 was such an initiation, going into our houses and setting the business straight right where we live, to look what's on our plates, what's on our under our noses. That gave us the opportunity to redefine our values. And now we're at a point, okay, 0 degrees, we set up the new formula for our lives. Aquarius rules mathematics, geometry. What are you going to put into your mouth and mind every day? What's the recipe for living? We've been through this deconstruction renovation phase. We've been healing our bodies, our minds, to welcome the eternal light of the soul. This is about looking someone in the eye and loving both what you are looking at and what is looking, because that's one and the same thing. And coming back to the collective with this idea of Aquarius being mathematics, being astrology, we all walk under the same star sky here. From that place of unfolding ourselves as individual creator, we can reformulate collective goals. Aquarius loves human. And with that comes the healing journey of accepting help of our brothers and sisters as a natural feature of humanity. Human brings other human water. Water meaning knowledge, emotion, healthy emotion. Water is the emotional body, it's love, but in Aquarius it is contained. It is intelligently expressed, as it is on Venus, the Earth's twin. The symbol of the Aquarius, or the drawing we often see on tarot cards, is a human either flying through the sky or being positioned under a star sky, holding a pitcher of water and pouring it into a bigger water body representing humanity. When we are in Aquarius, we are not in the human plane anymore. We're functioning from an intelligent love, not an opinionated love, a well-directed love. It's a fixed sign. What do you choose to fix upon? How do you direct your energy? We are creating a space of cooperation and collaboration beyond like and dislike. For example, I cannot be the biggest fan of your personality, but I can love what you are creating in the world, and that is more important. My dislike would be a personal distraction. And then when it comes to the evolution of the human soul, the North Node on this day is pointing at 19 degrees of Gemini. The symbol for this degree is a large archaic volume. And here comes to mind the pyramid, constructed in alignment with the stars as a receptor for cosmic guidance and cosmic energy. And at this moment, we are all together, finding out what makes us tick before we take it to the cafeteria. I believe this symbol of this pyramid, or this large archaic volume, illustrates beautifully how the collective will receive a more clear understanding of how the world works and which new structures need to see the light in the new world. On this note, I want to thank you for listening and wish you a wonderful, beautiful, magical conjunction solstice karmic reset. Bless your water with loving intelligence and intelligent love. It's a new dawn. Let me know what is changing within you as well. I love to read your comments and interact with you. If you would want to know how all of this works together with your own natal chart, I am here to help you tune in with that. I love to read you, and once again, thank you for coming here to accompany this shift. Sending you so much love.